All right, so YouTube is live, and of course, I'm still dilly-dallying over here. All right, so pretty sure I'm gonna lose something. All right, so Facebook is live and YouTube is live, but my camera's all jacked up. How's that? Not terrible. Okay. All right. Morning. Good morning. I don't know who's here yet. I should plug that in probably. Okay. All right. So good morning, YouTube. Good morning, Facebook. If you can, I don't know who's watching over on Facebook yet, but if you can, give me a shout about how the volume is coming through. I'm always a little bit worried that you guys can't hear me. Okay, now what happened to my camera? All right, I guess you just get to look at my kitchen a little bit. Whatever. All right, good morning. If you're on YouTube, of course, that is not Facebook. Looks all right. So how's volume? Good volume? I can't tell. I can't get any feedback yet. So yeah, I'll get started talking anyway. Good morning. So today being the anniversary of September 11th, and I see so many people talking about unity and how after that really crazy, sad day, no matter who we were, we came together. And we are so far apart right now. Literally, figuratively, right? We're practicing online instead of in person, which is not terrible. I'm not, dissing that at all. But physically, we're apart. Right? This pandemic is pushing us apart. And then, of course, the politicalization of every stinking thing, right? Everything is political. It's just so dumb. Because we already are one, right? We are all the same people. Cut us apart, X-ray us, dig us up out of graves. We're the same. We're already the same. So all of this other external nonsense that's happening, I just don't get it. So today I thought we would open our hearts, right? Chest openers are very, they're very energizing, right? They're very, again, opening, right? You feel good after opening your chest and standing up tall and breathing these great big breaths, right? So that's kind of going to be the focus of where we are today. I did also want to mention that I've got the 5-day challenge starting on Monday, 15 minutes of your day for you and your yoga practice. That's it. If you want to jump on, certainly let me know if you haven't already. I've got both a Facebook group and I've got an email list. So I will either post, well, I'll do both actually, but you'll see them either by posting on the Facebook group or through your email every morning. So just so you've got that little quiver in your, or that arrow in your quiver, right? So I think that's all I have. I'm changing up my website, so if you start to see some weird things there, don't panic. Everything will be there. And let's practice some yoga. Mm-hmm. So feel free to holler at me and shout good morning. Hey, Cheryl, Sandy. All right. Oh, good volume. Good. All right. So we're going to start standing up today. And we want to ground into the feet, right? So all of this chest opening and all of this can get a little crazy, right? It can make your mind wander a little bit. But if we ground down at the same time, that helps reroute and keep us here. So press the four corners of the feet into the floor, engaging the muscles of the legs. Little tailbone tuck, just so your bum doesn't stick out when you stand up tall, and extend through the crown of the head toward the ceiling. Go ahead and rest those shoulders down, letting the arms just kind of dangle to the sides here. Closing your eyes and take a moment. What's going on in your mind? What's going on in your body this morning? Being here with it. And allow the breath to expand. As the inhales get bigger and bigger, does that change anything about how you're standing? If we breathe a lot into the chest, sometimes it opens and lifts, right? Sometimes when you exhale, you kind of slump a little bit even, right? Maybe. Whatever it is for you, just noticing what your natural tendencies are. So bringing the breath to that just beyond comfortable place, maintaining this length and strength through the body. Let's go ahead and add in movement here. So with the next inhale, we're going to take the arms and stretch them up toward the ceiling. And on the exhale, bring them back down again. Making the arms reflect your breath. Do it again. Stretch the fingertips far away from the body. One more time, just like that. Let's inhale back to the top. And when you get there, clasp your fingers, pointing the index finger up at the ceiling. Relax your shoulders down. Exhale, tip yourself over to the right. Inhaling, come back to the middle. And exhale over to the left. So with the breath, side to side, just like that. Again here, staying grounded and even into your feet. Letting the side body open without collapsing. Sometimes in order for one side to open, the other side has to really squish up. See if you can find some extra space in there. We got one more on each side, so really move into that position as deep as it's going to go for now. When you're back to center, just release the arms back to your sides. So we're going to rest the hands on the thighs here, and you can lean as much as you want. We want to keep the shoulders back so the chest stays open. And we're going to come over into a half fold. So even as you're adding in the fold, your chest still stays open here, right? Nothing else gives to help. If you have a deeper fold, you can go ahead and move into that. Take your time. We're not working into the legs just yet, so let's go ahead and make our way back into an all-fours position. And the dogs are going to get rowdy. So find four corners of the hands, knees under hips. Your shoulders are even on the back, so your chest is even open here. And then just moving through some cat-cows on an inhale, drop the belly toward the floor. And with the exhale, round the spine toward the ceiling. Connected to the breath here, in and out. See if you can make your shoulder blades move in opposite directions. So you're really pulling them together as you inhale, squeeze them tight. And then as you exhale, spread them wide on your back. Let's do that once more. And we're going to come back into the all fours position here. Go ahead and drop back into the child's pose. So in your child's pose for right now, let your arms move back by your heels. And let your shoulders fall forward for a second here. Spreading the shoulder blades wide on the back. Maybe sinking into the hips. Big full breaths here. And then instead of having your hands back by your heels, go ahead and extend the arms long in front of the body. Stretching the hands as far away as they're going to go, lift the four corners of the hands. So we're coming up onto the finger pads. Stretching the arms as far away as you can. The hips shift back. We're going to pull the shoulder blades a little bit closer together on the back, and then see if you can actually inch your fingertips a little bit further away. So you're getting a great big stretch in through your shoulders. I feel it in my armpits even, right? Keeping your forehead where it is resting on the mat, or you can be using a block here for sure, but we're going to keep the upper body in the middle of the mat. Take the arms then and walk your hands over to the right. If you have the flexibility in the shoulder, this left shoulder might actually, or left arm really, might kind of move behind your head. Does that make sense? Keep stretching the hands away from the body, still feeling that big stretch in the arm. Now you're just adding in that left shoulder a little bit more. And then we're going to walk back to the middle. Do the same thing, walking your hands over to the left. So again here, your right arm might be resting kind of behind your head, depending on your shoulders. And then go ahead and take the hands and walk them back to center. Reground the four corners. From here, we're going to make our way up into a down dog. And just like we always do, allow yourself to move and stretch into it. Settle yourself into your down dog here and kind of check in. Does your arm, or does your head hang between your arms? Are your shoulders pretty neutral on your back? Keeping the hips roughly a 90-degree bend, roughly. Sinking the heels toward the floor, touching or not touching. And then you're going to keep everything else as it is here. We're going to work with the breath. On an inhale, shift forward, come to a plank. With the exhale, shift back, down dog. So of course, if you need to here, you can drop down to your knees. So like more child's pose to kneeling plank. Keeping the belly engaged to protect the lower back. And just getting the work through the shoulders, bearing some weight on the arms. We're going to go one more time like that, forward and back. And when you're back to down dog, go ahead and drop back down into a child's pose. And here, of course, the arms can be back by your heels again, if that feels better to give your shoulders a bigger rest, or stretching out. So a little rest is over. Let's move back to down dog. And we'll walk the feet back up to the hands into our standing fold. So finding the feet up underneath the hip bones, just like we set them before, really ground down into your feet. Make the legs strong. And we want to work to keep the chest open. So let's use the hands, taking the fingers to interlace behind the lower back. Draw the shoulder blades together. So over-exaggerate the opening of the chest. Stretch the knuckles away from the shoulders, straight down your back, or lifting up toward the ceiling. So the tendency when we lift up is to let the shoulders drift up by the ears. And we don't want that, right? So pull your hands away from your shoulders. See if you can feel your shoulders move away from your ears. Your chest is nice and open here. Take one more nice big breath. And then release the hands. Bringing the hands up to the thighs. And pressing the upper body parallel to the floor. So just like we went down, kind of pausing in the middle. Still rounded into the feet, the shoulders are back, the belly is in, so your chest is open. And then inhale, hinging all the way up, releasing the arms. So from here, let's go ahead and inhale, stretch the arms up toward the ceiling. Exhale, take yourself over into a fold, nice and easy all the way down, keeping the chest open. Inhale, come halfway up, and then exhale and step your right foot back into a lunge. So up on the toes back there, take your lunge as wide as you need to so that the knee stacks over the ankle here. And then imagine just kind of rolling around into your hips. And you might have a ton of flexibility, you might not. Just wake them up wherever that's going. And then sweep the legs toward each other underneath. So the pelvis is really square to the top of the mat. From here, go ahead and take your left leg straighter. Maybe it will go straight, maybe it won't. You can prop up on blocks if you need to prop up on blocks. Grounding into the left foot. Pressing the left hip back. See about drawing your shoulders together more on the back. So if you do need to reach for the floor, we don't want to round the back. So you can either prop up, maybe come up onto the shin, maybe drop your right knee. Go ahead and bend back into the knee again here. And we're going to step ourselves back to our down dog. With an inhale, shift forward, come to plank. Take the knees if you'd like and drop down to the belly. Everything to the floor together, nice and controlled. Hands next to the side ribs. We're going to roll the shoulders. Just really gentle to begin here, and then release. Pressing the body up, everything together, move back to down dog. And then let's step the right foot forward. So take your time getting your toes up to your hands. So again, we're stacking the knee and ankle. And then roll around into your hips a little bit. So watching here, we're working and waking the hips up, but what's going on in the shoulders? Have you collapsed into the chest to get your fingertips to the floor? Remember, prop or modify. And then again here, finding that center, sweeping the legs toward each other up underneath the body. Take the right leg straight-ish. And again here, focus on the shoulders, what's going on. And you don't want to necessarily feel like a back bend, but you certainly don't want your upper back to be round. One more breath. Bending back into the knee, let's go ahead and step forward into fold. With an inhale, come halfway up. And fold over again. Come all the way up, reach for the ceiling. And then exhale the arms. So let's do that same idea again. Inhale, reach. And exhale into the fold. Halfway up. Stepping back with the left foot this time, exhaling. And finding that middle again. So we're sweeping the legs toward each other up underneath the body. Extend through your back heel and out the crown of your head. Bringing the right hand to the hip, let's twist. Rotate the belly around, side ribs toward the ceiling. The shoulder back, maybe looking up or not. We're going to release the twist. Step back to our down dog. Inhale, slide forward into plank. Exhale to the belly, take knees if you need. So let's roll the shoulders again like we did for that tiny little baby cobra. Draw your elbows down towards your hip bones and pull them toward each other on your back. Pull with your hands, find a little extra space, and then release that. Up and back, down dog. And step the left foot forward. Again, the toes are working all the way up to the top of the mat here, setting that foundation with the legs, and then bringing the left hand to the hip, add a twist. We'll take another big breath. And then release the twist and step forward into fold. Check in with your feet, check in with your shoulders. Inhale and come halfway up. Exhale back over. And then all the way up. And exhale, release the arms. Let's go again. Inhale and fold. Halfway up. Stepping the right foot back again into lunge. Let's go ahead and drop that right knee here. And we want to sink low into the hips without letting the knee come forward. And sweeping the legs toward each other up underneath to keep the lower body really stable. So we want to keep the chest open, and if touching the floor is where you need to be, that's totally fine. Draw the shoulders down toward each other on the back a bit, and you can stay here, but maybe climb up on the thigh. The temptation is to let the hips lift, put them back down. Pressing the hands into the thigh. Begin to lift the chest, coming a little bit more vertical with your upper body. And you can continue to press until you go a little bit beyond vertical, maybe. So the hands can stay on the leg here, or the fingers interlace behind the lower back again. Shoulders draw toward each other. Knuckles this time reach for your right heel. Lifting the chest to keep tons of space in the back. And then releasing it. Release the hands. We're going to lift the back knee and step back to our down dog. With an inhale, shift yourself forward, come to plank, and drop on down to the belly. Just like we did before, hands next to the side ribs, elbows hug in, they move down towards your hip bones. That should lift your chest all by itself. And I lost my mic. So pull with the hands, maybe press into the hands, coming up a bit higher. And then gently release. Up and back into your down dog. And then switch sides, stepping the right foot forward, I think, if that's your second side. And it's back. All right, my camera's go, sorry. So find your center again here. Sweeping the legs toward each other up underneath the body. This time the left knee drops to the floor. Staying low, shoulders down and back. Maybe fingertips stay down, maybe you climb up. Again, try not to lose your hips, just to lift the upper body, keep them low. And then you press. Lifting the chest, if it's for you, interlace the fingers. Reach back for that left heel. So you may be looking up, but not because you've dropped your head back. If the chest is facing the ceiling, so does the face. We're going to gently release the arms, come back into lunge, and step forward into fold. Halfway up. Exhale over again. And then come all the way up, reaching for the ceiling and releasing the arms. One more time. All the way up. Inhale and fold. Halfway up. Exhaling the left foot back. Sweeping the legs toward each other. So you definitely have the option of dropping the back knee, or not this time. Sweep the legs toward each other, climb up on the thigh, lifting the upper body. So think about where your shoulders are. Your hips are as low as they're going to go, staying square and stable. Hang on. You can choose to interlace the fingers behind the back again, or maybe this time open the arms, say into cactus. Pulling the elbows toward each other on the back, lifting the chest toward the ceiling. So find where you're feeling stable and where your chest is as open as it can get. Let's gently release that, come back over into lunge, step back into down dog. Let's inhale, shift the body forward into plank. Yes. Take it down to the belly. So the elbows hug toward each other, drop down toward your hip bones. We roll into the shoulders, pull with the hands, maybe press into the hands. If the arms come almost straight, maybe you lift the thighs up off the floor. Don't just lock your elbows. Drop back down. Backing up into down dog. And then step the left foot forward, lunge. So sweeping the legs toward each other again here, dropping that back knee if you feel like you need it. Climb up. Sinking into the hips, lifting into the chest. Stay supporting and press away. Interlace your fingers if you want. Take cactus arms, maybe arms extended. Leave your chest open and lift. Let's release it. Come back over into a lunge. Step forward into fold. With an inhale, come halfway up. And take it back over. Reaching all the way up. We'll exhale and release it all. All right, so getting our standing balance out of the way here. You can step off your mat, you can be near a wall. We're going to keep the balance piece of it a little bit more simple so we can add in a little bit of that back in. So you decide where to go with it, of course. Listening to your body above everything else. So let's take the weight over into the left foot. Lift the right knee. Opening at the knee, we're moving into tree. So bringing the foot to the inside of the right leg, anywhere but on your knee. And then hug the legs toward each other. Tucking the tailbone so we're tall. You can absolutely just bring the hands together and stand tall. But maybe. See about taking the fingers and interlacing behind the back. Shoulders draw toward each other, knuckles reach toward the floor, and the chest lifts toward the ceiling. Gently looking up again. Remember, we don't just flop the head back. Staying steady and strong on that left foot. And of course, if you wanted to get fancy, you can add more arms. Take another big breath. And then nice and gentle, make your way back up to a neutral position. Release your arms and your feet. Same idea on the second side, and play with it. Right? Maybe if the foot needs to come down a little bit to make your back bend bigger, or otherwise. All the way right, lift the left and open. Bringing the foot into wherever it's supposed to go. So if your pelvis is all jacked up just to get your foot higher, it's going to make the balance piece harder. So find square, find stable in that right foot. And then your hands, maybe just hang out. Maybe you come to the lower back, maybe you open into cactus or arms extending next to the ears. Play with it. Keep the tailbone gently tucked, chest lifting for the ceiling. Keeping the head in line with the spine. Take another big breath. Make your way back up to a neutral position, and then release it all. All right, so let's go ahead and take a short step back with the right foot. We're going to find warrior one here. So all four corners of both feet. The hips are still squared to the top of the mat, sweeping the legs toward each other, keeping that back heel rounded. So let's start by maybe just extending the arms up. And begin here. You can change this up to however feels right for you. So if fingers interlace behind the lower back works better, take it, right? If you like cactus arms, the elbows can come out. That adds maybe a little body weight out to the sides. Or with the arms extending toward the ceiling here, draw the shoulders down away from your ears, lift your chest up. And maybe the arms start to actually reach behind you a little bit. Take a couple of great big breaths and direct them into that open chest and belly. And make your upper body become more neutral again, so vertical. If they're not already, take your fingers and interlace them behind your lower back. Pull the shoulders together, stretching back toward the right heel, and then hinge the upper body forward. So you've got a little bit of back bend coming into your forward fold. You're still steady and even on your feet, through your hips. The shoulders are pulling toward each other. And your head is just neutral from the rest of your spine. Take the left leg straight. And then bending in, lifting the upper body, and then releasing as you step back to the top of your mat. All right, so side B. Short step back with the left foot. Take a second to make sure you're feeling steady and stable in your lower body. Your hips are square. And again here, choosing what to do with your arms. So if you want to just interlace, interlace. If you want to lift, bend the elbows, any other little variations you'd like. And then make your way into that little piece of the back bend, whatever that ends up looking like. So great, big, and huge, or just a pulling of the shoulders together on the back, wherever your body allows you to be. And then breathe into that open space, tons of space in the belly and the chest. We're going to make our way back to a neutral spine. Release the fingers. Release the arms. And then if they're not already, interlace your fingers. Reaching back for the right heel, left heel. And then coming forward. So the chest stays open. And then we gently take the right leg straighter. Bending again. Lifting the upper body. Releasing the arms and stepping back to the top of the mat. All right, so this time, take a nice big step back with the right foot. We're working into warrior two. So bending into the left knee, right toes are cut in a little bit, and watch this left knee turning your toes more toward the top of the mat or more toward the side of the mat. If when you open out more to the side, this left knee collapses, pull it a little bit more forward. So watching the knee stay over the ankle, sinking into your legs, and extending the arms. So last week, I think, we flipped the palms up toward the ceiling. And as you flip the palms up, notice how that draws your shoulders back? Keep your shoulders like that, flip your palms back over. Take the right hand to the back of the right thigh, left palm turns toward the ceiling, we're gonna reach it up. As if you still had your fingers interlaced behind your back, draw your shoulder blades together on your back. Lift your chest toward the ceiling. You can lean a little onto the back of the leg, but try not to lean too much. Maybe take the right hand to the inside of the right thigh, and if you give a little bicep curl here, you can draw back a little deeper. Breathe. And then come back to neutral. Stepping back to the top of the mat. It's the hard part. So let's go to the second side. Same idea, left foot back. Check in. What direction should your left toes face? Play with it. You see the knee fall? That's too open. So find your feet. Extend the arms. Lift your palms up. Feel your shoulders roll back. And then leave the shoulders where they are as you flip your palms back over. Steady into the feet. Let's take the left hand to the back of the thigh. Right palm turns toward the ceiling and then reaches up. The shoulders pull toward each other. The chest lifts toward the ceiling. And then you get fancy with the left arm, maybe drawing a little bit deeper. Let's come back to our warrior two. And then step back to the top of the mat. Big step back with the right foot. This time straddling. Toes point forward. We're going to take the fingers interlacing behind the back. Draw the shoulder blades toward each other. Stretch the knuckles for the floor. So the chest is lifting. Come forward into half fold. And maybe into a deeper fold if you have a deeper fold. So just like we did earlier, stretching the knuckles away, up off of the back or not so much. And then release, coming halfway up. Take another breath or two, and when you're ready, come all the way up. So release the fingers for a second then. We're going to turn the right toes in a little bit and the left toes back to the top of the mat. Let's bend back into the knee here. So strong and steady into the feet, just like we had then. This time here, interlacing the fingers. Draw the shoulders, reaching for the floor. Same idea. So we're going to try and keep the hips open. Rotate the upper body more toward your left leg. And then fold, think belly to left thigh. So maybe it touches, maybe it doesn't really matter. If you can go deeper, you bring the upper body inside of the left thigh here. So your shoulder is maybe on the inside of your knee-ish. Try not to let your butt stick out behind you a whole bunch just to get there. Don't worry about it. Keeping the alignment and steadiness of the legs. The hands kind of go where they go. Maybe they lift or maybe they don't here. And then we're going to bring ourselves back up. Release the fingers, straddle out the feet again. And we're going to make our way to the second side. Dogs are messing with me today. So turning the left toes in a little bit, turning the right toes toward the back of the mat, and sinking into the legs. Good morning, guys. When you're ready, we interlace the fingers, rotate the belly, and then bring it forward. And going deeper if you go deeper. Remember, keep the lower body stable, and the upper body does what it does. It goes where it goes. Take one more big breath here. And then bring the upper body back up again. Releasing the fingers, straddling out the feet. Let's step back to the top of the mat again. On an inhale, stretch to the ceiling. Gently take yourself over into a fold. And for a moment here, just let yourself hang. So maybe a little bend in your knees, grab opposite elbows, sway side to side, whatever. And then allow yourself to step back into your down dog again. Dropping down, take a child's pose. From here, we're going to slide forward and come out onto the belly. I could just lay here, but we're not done. So pop up on the forearms. Bring your elbows underneath your shoulders, pressing away from the floor. So what are your shoulders doing on your back? Right? Even just kind of hanging out here, they might fall forward a little bit, right? Draw them back. Pull them together on your back a little bit. The more you press down into the floor, maybe the more you're able to open and lift your chest. So keep that idea. You might lose it in the maneuvering to get the foot, but let's see. So I like to take my left hand a little bit forward. It seems to help, and if you want to move it in or out, you can do that as well. Bend your right knee, and then the right hand finds the foot, or ankle-ish. So grounding your pelvis, tucking your tailbone, drawing the shoulder blades together on your back. You can kick the foot into the hand to get a little extra lift. And then gently release it, coming back to the belly. Let's go to the second side. Coming up on the forearms again. Finding your center here. So this is the piece of it that really we're working on. The rest is just for fun. So check in with your chest, check in with your shoulders. And if you're adding on, you bend the left knee and then the left and finds the foot. Pull it in, kick it away. Playing here, but still staying focused on where your chest is, what your shoulders are doing. And then gently releasing back down again. So just holding neutral here, release the spine. And then roll over onto your back. Super simple, just flopping over and then finding a comfortable position laying on the floor. And you can have your legs extended or the feet flat to the mat here, you decide. Finding a neutral spine. And if they're not already, go ahead and bend your knees and take your feet flat to the floor. From here, extend your right leg up toward the ceiling. And then bend the knee and reach up and grab for your foot. So ideally here, we want the ankle and knee to be in line with the hip. And we want the shin to be vertical. So however close you can get to that. As you exhale, pull down on the foot and see if you can draw your knee more towards your armpit. And then release it just a little. Exhaling as you pull back down again. And then kick it back away. So a few more times like that. Pulling the leg down, so the knee is as close to the armpit as it's going to get. Notice how the body kind of wants to roll a little bit. How about taking the left leg straight? Straight like you're standing on that leg. So the foot is flexed, the toes are pointing toward the ceiling. You're extending through the four corners of the feet away from the body. And maybe that helps stabilize and align the body. Let's see where you are here. And then we'll bend the left knee again, take the right foot back to the floor. So again, finding that neutral position for the spine, if it got a little crooked when we did that last little silly thing. And then when you've got that, extend the left leg. Bend at the knee enough so that you can find your foot. You can always either use a strap here, of course, or you can take your fingers to interlace behind the thigh instead and pull down on the thigh, bringing the knee closer, right? Because what happens is when we grab the foot, the shoulders lift, right? Sometimes the pelvis rolls up off the floor. And we want to keep that neutral spine as much as we can as we pull down on the foot and then press it back up again. Take it in and out like that. And then pull down, drawing the left knee in toward the armpit as close as it's going to get, extending the right leg down toward the bottom of the mat. Make that leg straight and strong. Your toes are flexed, your feet are flexed. Extending through the four corners. In your head, you could be standing up, right? Kind of. And then we'll bend again, taking both feet flat to the floor. And if you got a little crooked, straighten back out. We're going to work into bridge then. So feet pretty close to the hips, not quite touching. Hip bone distance apart, so if you feel them touch too close, if they're touching in the outsides of your hips, too wide. So find that middle. Tuck the arms down as tight to your sides as you can. Pull them in. You can even bend the elbows here if you've got hips, right? You may need to bend your elbows to pull them a little tighter. So press down into the triceps. Feel your chest lift already? Keep your head in a neutral position. You're going to pull with your feet toward your hips to lift your hips. So they lift as high as they lift. Make sure your head and neck stay in a comfortable position, keeping the gaze straight at the ceiling. You can stay here, or you can interlace your fingers behind your back again. And the more you tuck your shoulders closer together, the more you kind of come up onto the backs of your arms rather than the backs of your shoulders. The tops still touch. Making sure the neck does not. Take another big breath. We're gently going to release it back down again. So holding in this neutral position for the spine. And then bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees relax to the sides. Pressing the lower body away from the upper body if you want a little extra stretch there. And then we're going to release that and bring the knees back together. Go ahead and draw the knees into the chest and rock a little bit here. You can rock up and down or side to side. Maybe make circles with the knees. So then, of course, your final twist du jour, like whatever variation feels good. So you can keep the knees hugged into the chest and just let them fall over to the right. You can take your feet to the floor, shift your hips, and then to the left, and then let the legs fall to the right. Once you get there, you can relax into it, or you can work into a deeper twist by kind of pressing through your left knee or your left foot if the leg is straight. Kind of pressing into the foot to the right, stretching your left hand to the left. So tons of variations here. Work as little or as much as you like, or as you feel your body needs. Take another big breath here. And then releasing what you have, bringing yourself back into a neutral place. Whatever variation you did on the first side, you're going to want to do that same thing on the second side. So again, maybe the knees into the chest and the legs just fall left. You can shift your hips and then drop the knees. You can cross your legs, have them straight, relax into the twist, or work into it. Make it a little bit more challenging. Let's take another nice big breath over here. And then we'll gently make our way back into a neutral position. Aligning the spine again here. One more time, draw the knees into the chest and allow yourself to rock. Squeeze the knees in, good and tight. Pull the forehead toward the knees, let your spine round up. Give yourself a squeeze here. And then release it. Take it into a full body stretch. Release the stretch. Let your arms come back down by your sides. Finding a comfortable position. So if you want to prop, if you want to sit up, maybe supported by a wall, up on a block. If you want a blanket covering you, sometimes that feels good at the end. Doing whatever it is that you're going to need here so that the body is comfortable and the mind can quiet. remember, you can always stay in Shavasana for as long as you'd like because there is nowhere to go. But if you're ready, allow your breath to gently deepen. Restore small movements to the body, wiggling and stretching. And when you're ready, taking the feet flat, very gently make your way back up to seated. Sitting well. Let's bring the palms to the touch of that very open heart. The light within me honors the light within you. Namaste. So hopefully you feel good, right? Maybe a little sweaty, right? But good nonetheless. So have a great day. Remember, if you are interested in the 5-day challenge, 15 minutes a day, be sure to get in touch with me so I either add you to the email list or get you on the Facebook group. And that's what I got. All right, guys. Have a good weekend. Thank you.